Ascertaining the Two Kinds of Selflessness by Mipham Rinpoche. Homage to Manjusri. The mind that thinks I am, in reference to the five aggregates of its own psychophysical continuum, is clinging to that I. In other words, the referent object of such clinging is the self of the individual, or the I. As long as we don't investigate or analyze it, we have a sense that this self exists, whereas in fact, it has never existed, just as there has never been a snake in a length of colored rope. The five aggregates, which are the basis upon which the self is projected, are themselves multiple and impermanent. We might think that there is a self which endures, in the sense that it came out of the past and will pass into the next phase, and that this self is somehow unitary. Yet such ideas are simply projections made on the basis of the gathering of the aggregates, and they have no foundation in reality. The subject, which is the mind that thinks I am, is therefore self-clinging, and its referent object is what we call the self. Rather like mistaking a length of colored rope for a snake, we simply project the idea of a self onto the aggregates, while the self in fact has no real existence. Understanding this is the view of selflessness. All conditioned and unconditioned things other than the I or the self are phenomena, dharma. As long as we don't subject our naive assumptions to investigation, we believe that these phenomena exist. Yet, if we do examine them using logical reasoning, such as the argument of neither one nor many, we come to understand that no entity, whether coarse or subtle, can be said to be real. And that understanding of how things lack any basis or origin is what we call the realization of the selflessness or identitylessness of phenomena, dharma nairatmya. The self of the individual and the self or identity of phenomena are therefore objects of negation. Naturally, truly existent individuals and phenomena such as vases. Although we perceive these two kinds of self as a result of our mental delusion, when we analyze them, we find that they lack even the slightest hint of reality, and this absence is the selflessness of the individual and of phenomena. The mind that understands the absence of self in this way is said to realize selflessness. There are thus two forms of perceived self, and correspondingly two types of subject or self-clinging. In order to eradicate both forms of self-clinging, it is necessary to arrive at certainty through logical reasoning by considering how these two types of object or types of self lack true existence, and thereby generating realization of selflessness within the mind, as the subject perceiving twofold selflessness. In short, clinging to an I is the source of all mental afflictions, which are the root of samsara. Its antidote is the realization of individual selflessness, which is like the root of the path to liberation, and the full view of emptiness through which we understand how all phenomena lack true existence, overcomes cognitive obscurations in their entirety, and is thus the root of the Mahayana path, until we arrive at a deep, stable certainty concerning the great equality that is the inexpressible Dharmadhatu, in which emptiness and dependent origination are indivisible. We must continue to refine our view. Mere conceptual understanding based on an unqualified negation, i.e., refuting an object of negation, is the categorizable ultimate, which is merely a gateway to true ultimate reality, not the ultimate nature itself. The middle way of unlimited unity, or the uncategorizable ultimate, is the natural state of the indivisibility of the two truths, which is understood through self-knowing awareness, and is characterized by pacification of web-like conceptual elaboration. In short, conceptual understanding born of analysis brings genuine certainty and the decisive understanding that all the phenomena of samsara and nirvana appear while lacking even so much as an atom's worth of true existence, as is made clear when we subject them to investigation and analysis. Moreover, there is no conflict between the appearance of all these entities and their lack of true existence, just as in the examples of the reflection of the moon in water, a dream or an illusion. Conviction at this stage is equivalent to the certainty regarding illusoriness that is experienced during post-meditation. Although it represents a positive intellectual grasp of Madhyamaka, by itself it does not qualify as seeing the true Dharmadhatu, the great middle way beyond conceptual elaboration, which must be understood through self-knowing awareness. We must therefore engender a special form of certainty within the space-like freedom from conceptual elaboration that results from directly seeing the actual state of inexpressible unity. Then we must practice the meditative equipoise in which all philosophical standpoints based on thoughts of refutation or proof have faded away entirely. This is said to mark the point at which an analytical view developed through study and reflection is perfected. Still, the Dharmadhatu, which is an object of self-knowing awareness, can only be seen through the complete transcendence of ordinary mental processes, and not through any outwardly directed, language-based analysis which fails to strike the crucial point. Moreover, those who are adept at settling the mind as a result of their guru's pith instructions find it easy to develop certainty. We must therefore understand the key points of the path without error. By Mipham. Translated by Adam Piercy, 2016.